My friends, good day. Is artificial intelligence going to destroy the economy? Is it going to destroy the Western economy? I'm going to tell you something. Today is May 1st. May 1st is connected to a particular event. It was in 1886 a struggle so that people could work only 8 hours a day. People were asking, demanding to work 8 hours a day. They said, let's take 24 hours divided into three segments: 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours to work, and 8 hours to do whatever we want. Before that, people worked up to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. That was industrialization. It was the arrival of capitalism that brought industry. And the problem is that before, when people worked in the fields, they lived with the sun. That means they could wake up in the morning at dawn, they worked. And then, when the sun set, they went back home. That was no longer the case with industry. With industry, people were put in warehouses, locked in with machines that run day and night. Especially with steel mills where steel is produced, you can't stop. Because these are furnaces that run day and night, 365 days a year. You can't stop them. They have to run constantly, so you always need people to keep them running. And so there were adults, children, women, everyone. And then the children since 1833 were not allowed to work more than, I think, 12 hours a day. There was a limit. It was the Factory Act of 1833 in the United Kingdom, which later inspired similar laws elsewhere. But in the 1800s, children were very willing to work. Even though the law set limits, they were not always or systematically respected. All right, today we're going to fast forward. We're jumping ahead to today. Oh, sorry. Artificial intelligence. So let me tell you something. China, it seems, has just passed a law or is about to pass a law to forbid firing people, laying off employees, to replace them with artificial intelligence in order to reduce payroll costs. Why? The difference between China and the Western world, or Western capitalism, is that China is a country that has existed in an organized and structured way for more than 3,000 years. Most Western countries aren't like that. So China has a vision. The West lacks vision. Let me explain why. Because in the Western world, if you look, the economy or economic decisions are made quarter by quarter. In fact, you have two horizons. You have the quarterly horizon and you have the yearly horizon. That means every year you announce your results, you hold a shareholders meeting, you report your results to the market and everything. So be careful at the end of the year, no matter what. At the end of the financial year, the results have to be good. That's the first thing. Second thing, inside the company, people are kept in line with the carrot and the stick. And actually, every 3 months, there are results that come in and are evaluated. So people work on a 3-month horizon. That means over a 3-month horizon, for example, if I want to cut expenses in a company, I can fire, for example, everyone who works in the research and development department. There you go, we've saved a lot. Now, are we still around in 5 years? Because in 5 years, do we have new products? Are we still here? Are we still able to meet the expectations of customers and the market and everything? Probably not. But that's okay. It's not important. Why? Because decision makers aren't planning 5 years ahead. There's only a vision for today and the next quarter. I want the numbers to be good next quarter. I want the numbers to be good at the end of the financial year. The rest I don't care about. It doesn't matter if we're mortgaging the future. We're mortgaging the future. We can make 100 euros today. That's 10,000 euros we'll lose in 5 years. But it doesn't matter because in 5 years we won't be here. I'll be somewhere else. Everyone will be somewhere else. We'll be wearing different colored ties. We'll have different colored badges. We'll be at other companies. We don't care about these ones. And we'll be making the same mistakes somewhere else, okay? That's kind of how it works. So, regarding artificial intelligence, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you some arguments, including one that's non-negotiable, which is a mathematical argument. Mathematical arguments, unfortunately, aren't about your opinion versus mine or anything like that. They're arguments. It's just the way it is. So let me tell you, first of all, we're currently letting go of the most junior people. We're letting go of the most junior ones and saying, well, replace them. We're going to replace them with AI. It's simpler. Okay, nice. Now, senior employees. Where do senior employees come from? Senior employees, they don't come from outer space. Senior employees, well, they used to be juniors. They learned, rose through the ranks, and are now senior employees. So, if we're going to send junior employees through the grinder, if we're going to destroy young people, if we close off job opportunities for them, they'll graduate from college and end up working at Starbucks, McDonald's, or somewhere else. All right, we're going to break them completely. What will happen in 10 years? In 10 years, we'll be looking for experienced people. Well, there won't be any. If you look at the pyramid, imagine a kind of age pyramid, but this time it will be the pyramid of seniority and skill. Well, there's a huge gap. This gap will happen at some point. Today's seniors will be retiring or something, and then there won't be any new seniors because we fired everyone. We didn't give them a chance. Have you noticed the difference between China and Europe on this? Let me add something else. What's worse, that's terrible, since this is the mathematical argument I'll give you. What does AI feed on? What does artificial intelligence feed on? It feeds on data that is produced not by artificial intelligence, but by humans. You can't feed AI, you can't train AI models with things that were produced by AI. It's a bit like photocopying, imagine you take an original, you photocopy it. The first time you get a nice image, you photocopy that image again. You keep doing that. Each time, what happens? Each generation, you lose a bit more. And if you do it 20 or 30 times, you'll end up with a black sheet, with a sheet. It depends on the quality of the photocopier. They're all going to end up giving you nonsense after a while. Why? Because with each photocopy, even if you don't necessarily see it with the naked eye, every time you're going to have some degradation. So after several photocopies of photocopies, several generations, well, it's ruined. You see, you have to photocopy from the original. The original source of knowledge is humans. The original source of creativity is humans. So that's the idea. Today, you have ChatGPT. I don't even know which version anymore. You have Claude version 4.7. You have Gemini. You have all that stuff. Okay, that's all good. But be careful. We think it's amazing. We're going to use these AIs and get rid of humans because we don't need them. If you take humans out, that's fine. They're out of the equation. In 10 years, what will you be training your AI with? There's no human output. You've destroyed it. Okay, you don't want human production. You don't want to pay people to produce. Okay, so Western capitalism, as always, is programmed to destroy itself. It contains within itself a greed that always leads it to destroy itself in the end. So you'll have models, but you won't have anything to feed them. So what's going to happen? You're going to stay exactly where you are. Remember this, I'm going to draw a parallel. When there's mass offshoring, you take brands, for example. Everyone remembers what was there. In Europe, there was BASF, Granding, Telefunken, there was Thomson, there was all of that. These are major European electronics brands that used to manufacture products marked made in France, made in Germany, and so on. What did we do? We exported everything to China. But what happened? Well, it means we fired the engineers. We didn't hire any more. There was no one left trained in that know-how. The capital flows left. The intellectual property left. The jobs left. And then what did we start doing? We started receiving more and more miraculous products from China. Today, there are plenty of Chinese electronic products that we aren't able to make in Europe. We don't have the know-how, the industrial ecosystem, or anything at all. We just have to look at them. We're impressed. Earlier, I saw a woman, a French woman, who posted on social media. She was in China. She was watching her driver in a taxi. She was impressed. I'm explaining this. She was a bit like that tribe that once received a Coke bottle on their head. Everyone knows the gods must be crazy. A tribe receives a Coke bottle thrown by a pilot and they are impressed. That's exactly where we are. Why? Because we've destroyed the seed of that know-how. There was knowledge, real know-how that was there. It was destroyed, stolen, and exported. China received it. They continue to develop it, to build on it. And today, they have total control of the market and all that. Okay? Today, in Europe, young people are discouraged from studying. They're not given opportunities. They're pushed out of the job market and they're told, it's fine, we have AI. What will happen in 10 years? In 10 years, we'll end up with no one who knows. And we'll have an AI that hasn't evolved much compared to today, because the models you have now have already consumed all of human knowledge. Despite their limits, they've absorbed all human knowledge. We've loaded them with terabytes of books, magazines, articles, newspapers, images, blueprints, and scientific studies. Whatever you want, that's what we see. We don't have any more human knowledge to add to it. But we decided that's enough. We're going to destroy human knowledge. We don't want it anymore because we have ChatGPT. Okay? It's the same story again, only worse this time. Because this time we're destroying human creation. And well, that's it. How are we going to manage when we have models that are only marginally better than the ones we have today? And then you see, China will have the knowledge, they'll have engineers, they'll always have people working, always people learning, always people able to read and write, always people who can pick up a pen and write their first and last name on a sheet of paper, you see? While we'll be here in the Stone Age, we'll be like a naked Amazonian tribe with a tablet running GPT. All right, that's where we're heading. It's over the top, but you get the picture. That's where this rotten system is taking us. There you go. Thank you, friends, for watching this far. Thank you for your passion and your support for this channel. And then I'll see you next time. Let me remind you about my book, Titan. I have a bunch of books, I wrote Titan, Le Suma, the story, I wrote Toxic, I wrote the story about the moon, which didn't exactly earn me a lot of friends and many others, all right? But the next book I'm going to write will be written on the cover. I'm going to put AI crossed out, all right? Human work, the real thing. There you go. Thank you, my friends, and I'll see you in the next video.